Hey, I'm Dontrell Sultan, the host of the Innovators of BC podcast. And the Burroughs School of Business and Entrepreneurship is where bosses are built and big ideas take flight. Welcome back to the Innovators of BC podcast, powered by the Best Innovation Lab. I'm your host, Dontrell Sultan, with our guest today, Professor Thomas. And she's over here at the Burroughs School of Business at Benedict College, and she's an entrepreneurship professor. But we brought her on today to basically discuss BTV, which is a BIPOC independent film streaming platform. It basically just represents the underrepresented for the streaming world media. And how you feeling today, Ms. Thomas?
I feel pretty good. I had a great weekend.
Really? Okay. And to start off, we don't want to start off with basically discussing your business. We want to start off with how did you get to Benedict? What was your journey? Because a lot of professors come from entrepreneurship and then become a professor. So how did you come to Benedict?
I think it depends on what you teach, number one, how you come into colleges to become professors. But for me, I've always had a passion for teaching and educating. I just didn't know it would be at this level. For me, I started as an adjunct in 2018. Dr. Dunn called me up, who's the dean of business here at the college, and said, "Hey, I really need some help. I need someone with the expertise and also the documents, meaning having an MBA. You can't teach at the college level without an MBA." So I said, "Of course, anything you need." So I came over and I started teaching marketing classes because my undergrad degree is in marketing, and then I have a master's of business administration. And that's how I got here. It literally started with Dean Dunn seeing me at a entrepreneurship networking event, saying, "Hey, I think you'll be a great fit. I need someone to come in and teach marketing." And here I am, years later, teaching full time.
So with some of the students, what is your objectives as far as teaching students and maneuvering throughout their life? Because not everybody want to be an entrepreneur, but what do you plan on leaving them off with?
I think the biggest thing is one, when you're a business, let me say this, everyone's an entrepreneur. Right? It doesn't matter what your major is. You can be a STEM major, you can be arts major, doesn't matter. We all have a talent, we all have a gift, and I believe that all of our gifts and talents can be monetized first. So I think all students on a college campus are entrepreneurs, but for us, particularly in the business department, the goal is for you to leave with the basic knowledge of how business works, how to navigate in rooms that you're not familiar with, how to represent yourself in your business. I often tell my students that no one knows your business better than you, right? So you have to be confident in it. You have to be confident in who you are, and you have to be confident in your business and be able to articulate that. So for our entrepreneurship majors, which those are my babies, that's the number one goal, is to make sure that they're confident in themselves, confident in their ability to talk about their business and their passion.
And starting off, which did you start off with BTV or did you have a other company that you started off with?
Oh my God, BTV is probably in the teens for businesses that I've started. It's just my latest project.
Okay.
I have a film production company as well, which kind of led into the streaming business. So my film production company, I make movies. I have my own movies on Amazon Prime, Apple TV, Tubi, Roku, so on and so forth. And I saw a need there, which is why I started BTV, which stands for BIPOC TV,
Right.
which is what you said earlier, the underrepresented, the individuals that have a very difficult time getting their movies and TV series distributed, but on a global platform, because we distribute globally. Chile, Paraguay, Africa, any country you can think of, they are able to see movies and TV series on BTV. So before film, gosh, I've owned daycare centers, bar club, restaurant, consulting firm, event space, a couple things.
Wow.
So yeah.
In regards to how will you connect those two passions of basically educating students and your new project, BTV? How do you plan on connecting that with Benedict or with universities?
So the first thing we did, we started a podcast. You have a visual podcast, because we've seen a lot of podcasts where it's just audio, right? But now visual podcasts are doing very well. If you go to Netflix, you'll see a visual podcast on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing that you and I are doing right now. So the first thing that I did when I came in last semester in a full-time capacity was say, okay, how do we give the school more visibility? How do I teach students how to use cameras, sound equipment, microphones? Yeah, let's start a podcast. So it really came from just what I'm doing in the streaming world, what I'm doing in film and production, and just mixing all those worlds together and doing something that it's a little more simple because podcasts are typically stationary. So putting you all in a position to learn how to use a camera, which is a skill, which lots of money are being paid to those people that can use a camera. Sound technicians, individuals that can set up sound and record sound, one of the highest paying positions in the film business. So podcast ties into all of that because the same equipment that you're using here, we use on a film set.
That's nice. Um, and how when someone doesn't have the capital, because you're coming from numerous businesses, how might I be able to execute my passion without having the capital? Because obviously, when I'm applying for grants or anything, they're looking for previous experience, like previous capital,
Correct.
and I don't have it. So how do I go about that?
So this is the hard part. When you have a dream that you can't quite financially afford, start small. Start with the things you do have. What do you have in your hands already? Use the people around you. You are on a college campus with lots of creatives, and it may not necessarily be film, but it could be music. It might not necessarily be music, but it could be art. Photographers, use what you have. Being on a college campus, there's a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of everything you need. You just don't know it. So for the things that we go out and pay for, there's a kid on this campus that has a skill set right now. And if you start together and you build together, it's easier, right? Versus going out and hiring someone who does camera work, sound work. You guys are all students. You're all working in an internship capacity, doing a job. But what you figure out so far is, oh, I can do this. You can do it on a film set too. And you've learned the skill at school as an intern, no cost, but you leave with so much.
Mm. And that goes in what I was about to ask you. I was about to ask you, how do you stay in touch with the newer generations as far as marketing for your business?
Man, I use students. So right now we have 3 students on a project, and those 3 students are helping me navigate individuals in college. Like what are you looking at? How do you reach a college student to show them that, hey, I have anime on my streaming platform. Hey, I have horror and thriller movies on my streaming platform. You stay connected to that age group. I think that's the most important piece. Networking becomes very, very important. The advantage I have is I'm on a college campus every day and I'm seeing beautiful minds move around all day in my classroom. People that just come to my office that want to talk about different things. So I'm always looking for those skill sets whenever I'm talking to students.
And do you have any new projects coming up? Well, as far as BTV, any events?
So we don't have an event coming up, but we do partner with a few film festivals, and one of them being Dreamcatchers Film Festival, where we take all of the films from that particular film festival and we distribute those films for those independent creators. We're also looking to partner with other creators as well as film festival so that we can bring more content, but also provide a home, a distribution home for those independent creators that have no idea how to get their shows and movies on a global platform.
And I have a question. Is there any way, because now the new age is Twitch streaming. I don't know if you've never heard of it, but it's just kind of like lifestyle streaming. So you just have a camera, you go live, you're with a large audience. Like one of the big influencers are Tyson that. And do you plan on incorporating that with BTV somehow? Or
I would love to. I think the platform, it represents those type of creators. It represents independent creators. And all you really need to be TV ready is a intro, outro, and credits, right? Everything else stays the same. You do a pre-video for your intro, pre-video for your outro, roll the credits, which is just everyone that participated, the writers, directors, guests, etc. I think that is going to be as big as podcasting.
That's real.
Yeah, I think I would love to bring it to the platform, but we need young minds like yourself to say, okay, yeah, I want to do this and be consistent. The
Mm,
one thing about TV and series, because it'll end up being a series, right?
mm,
You have to be consistent, which means you need content
right.
constantly. It can't be one and done or one every 3 months. It has to be constant content feeding into your show.
Mm. And what has been the biggest challenge for you starting BTV?
I think the biggest challenge is getting people to the platform,
Mm,
right? Letting people know that it's a new platform, getting creators to trust the process because so often in this business, they've been ignored. People have taken things from them, and they just don't have the education to know how to navigate the business part of film.
mm,
They know how to make a film, well, some of them. Know how to make a film, but they don't understand the business. They don't know what CPM means, which is click per minute,
mm,
right? They think they'll get on TV and they'll make lots and lots of money. Well, it doesn't quite work that way.
mm,
In most cases, you don't start getting paid until you have 1,000 views, and then that may give you 2 or 3 cents,
mm,
right? Like I have a show on Tubi and Amazon Prime. I've probably made about 20 grand on that show over the course of 2 years.
mm,
So 10 grand a year, right? And it's because you're only getting paid CPM at a very small amount. So let's say we had maybe 5 million viewers.
mm.
That's divided by 1,000 clicks. Those 1,000 clicks are worth, say, 6 pennies each, right? And that's how you do the math. And determining on how much money you make from the advertiser determines how much money you can give the creator. So one advertiser may pay you $500.
Mm.
One advertiser could pay you $5 million. So depending on the commercial that runs during the time that your movie is playing determines how much money you make.
So it's really because of the ads that's really getting you revenue.
Absolutely. That's the
Right.
only way you get paid in the independent world. You have to have ads play during your actual movie or series.
Mm.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did know that.
So you got to have a lot of viewers, and independent creators have to remember they have to promote their own work. The streaming platform is there to give you an outlet to be seen by the world, but you still have to go out and do the promotion.
Mm. And was there ever like a problem with employees or that you had an issue with? Because it's maybe well, you wouldn't have troubles with death or anything, but any type of disagreements that you have with employees, like a story or anything.
Not really, because this is the deal. My son is my developer. He's 13
Mm,
and he's very smart. So he develops our app. So all the things that you see on the Amazon app, as well as our streaming online
mm,
presence, my son is doing in the background. So it's not much to argue about. He does what I say.
mm,
Um, now I'll bring in interns and I'll bring in, like I have a partner who helps me with certain things. There's
mm,
really not much to argue about when you have a team that small because I let them know my expectation. Either they meet it or they don't.
mm.
And if they don't, I replace them.
So what about if it's a generational disconnect where maybe the team, well, the younger team sees a vision and you like, well, you have an experience. You like, I've never seen that happen before.
Oh, well, the industry is always evolving and changing. So that wouldn't be my approach. My approach would be show me.
Mm,
Not that doesn't work. That's never happened before because in TV, things are always happening that didn't happen before. And
mm,
things are often repeating themselves. So it's a mixture of both of those worlds. So if I get a young mind that says, hey, we should take this direction, I'm going to give them space and opportunity to show me that direction. And if
mm.
it works, great. We all win. If it doesn't work, it's no big deal. We do something else.
Okay. And for students or for entrepreneurs, what is one thing? Well, this will kind of be our last piece of the show where we give off advice and direction I'm going. I'm saying, what would be something that students, entrepreneurs don't know and would need to know? Whether that's making sure your financials is good, well, making sure your confidence is good, presentation skills. What would be something, some advice that students can leave off with?
Everything you said is important. Like every single thing you said is important. And it's a skill set that all students have to have. But if I could leave students with one thing is you have to believe in yourself.
Mm,
Your friends may not believe in your dream. Your parents may not believe in your dream. And that's okay. It's not their dream. It's your dream. So if you believe in it and you have the vision for it, it can happen, but it's going to require a lot of work, right? And it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be difficult in some seasons. And it's going to be difficult before it's easy. It's going to be difficult before you start making money. You just have to stay the path. You have to keep going. So that would be my advice to a student.
It's great. And can you leave us off with your socials for a way for them to reach you?
Oh God. So social for BTV. On TikTok, it's BTV Entertainment. And on Facebook, Instagram, and I want to say we have another platform. I can't think of it right now. LinkedIn. It's BTV Media and Entertainment. Yeah.
All right. That'll be all. Thank
you.
you. What's up? It's your host, Dontrell Sullivan, for the Innovators of BT podcast. Level up your hustle at Best Innovation Lab, where the Benedict's boldest ideas come alive.
Good.